Oh, the humanity. The worst kept secret in the one that F's is now out. Danny Rick is out and Liam Lawson is in because Andrew Benton of the BBC writes as follows that Ricciardo has officially been replaced by Liam Lawson at RB Visa Cash App for the rest of 2024. Oh, the humanity. Danny Rick has been replaced at RB by Liam Lawson for the remainder of the 2024 season, writes Andrew Benson. The 35-year-old Australian has been dropped officially with 6 races to go because Red Bull management have been unconvinced of his performance. And we knew this, did we not? We knew this. Christian Horner said that Danny Rick's play was to outperform Yuki Tsunoda and then supersede Checo Perez, the man formerly known as the Mexican Minister of Defense, for the big seat at Red Bull Racing. But Christian Horner characterised Danny Rick's performance over the past year or so as less than stellar. This move gives Liam Lawson the seat and allows him to be assessed over the remaining races before Red Bull finalise their plans for 2025. This, therefore, is going to be a probation period for Liam Lawson. Why? Because Christian Horner's none too sure of him either. You heard Christian Horner at this weekend's Grand Prix saying that, you know what, we need to test this guy out. We can't be sure of Liam Lawson, that he's the next one, that he's good enough to be in an RB Visa Cash App seat or even a Red Bull Racing seat going forward. Christian Horner expressed his doubts, casting negativity and shade on Liam Lawson before he's even turned a wheel in earnest in 2024. RB team principal, continues Andrew Benton of the BBC. Lauren Mekies said Daniel has brought a lot of experience and talent to the team with a fantastic attitude, which has helped everyone develop and foster a tight team spirit. Yeah, of course he has. Why? Because he's the Honey Badger smiler. Do you know what I mean? I will miss him. The paddock, some say, will be a worse place for his absence. But yet and still, F1 at its core is a piranha's tank, and meritocracy will always be trumps, no matter how many dollars Checo Perez brings in. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the bottom line. He has been a true gentleman, continues Lauren Mecker's team principal of RB Visa Cash App, both on and off the track, and will never be, and is never without a smile. He'll be missed, but always hold a special place within the Red Bull family. Yeah, there is no place for sentiment in this weird and wacky world that we call Formula One, is there not? Lawson, 22, came in for 5 races last season, continues Andrew Branson of the BBC, after the Australian broke his wrist in a crash at the Dutch Grand Prix. The New Zealander scored 2 points with a 9th place finish at the 2023 Singapore Grand Prix. Mekies said, Liam drove for us last season and coped well under difficult circumstances, so to be a natural transition. Difficult circumstances, why? Because he didn't have the requisite time to prep. Hopefully now they would have front loaded this information and Liam Lawson will come in ready. And that notwithstanding, he wasn't too bad when he came in last year, materially outperforming Danny Rick season to date. Many people called for him then. Poor decision making, any? Christian Horner, Dr. Helmut Marko. But I digress. RB's statement made no mention of RB's 2025 lineup. Japanese driver Yuki Tsunoda already has a confirmed seat, but the team has not announced who will be his teammate for 2025. Why has Danny Rick been dropped? Well, it's performance, of course. Ricciardo, jovial character, writes the BBC, and sense of humour made him one of F1's most popular characters through his 13-year career. Of course it did. Smiler settings. The paddock was a better, more happy place to be around with him in it. Man who put Drive to Survive as a series on his back and brought it to the mountaintop, kicking and screaming. Indeed, weaponized it, because F1 success thereon in has been a function of Netflix's Drive to Survive, which of course in turn is a function of Danny Rick's bubbly personality, mainstream main character settings, and for 7 seasons, writes the BBC, from 2014 to 2020 inclusive, he was considered one of the sport's leading drivers. He was promoted to Red Bull team, yeah, blah, 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 we get it. What's the future for Liam Lawson? asked the question, one Andrew Benson of the BBC. Lawson's promotion means he has a chance to stake a claim to a future at Red Bull, either at RB or in the senior team techie. Checo Perez is under pressure for his own drive both during last year and after a luckless first half this season. Red Bull went into this year's summer break considering dropping the Mexican. What do you mean considering? This is still on the table. You've heard me talk about most recent reports. If indeed you are invested in word on the F1 curb, rumour and conjecture, speculation settings that Checo Perez could retire from Formula One and so relinquish that seat, the lauded Red Bull Racing seat, alongside Maximilian Verstappen, 3 soon-to-be 4-time champion, as soon as October the 27th, which of course is the date of his home Grand Prix. Oh, the humanity. The optics would be perfect, both for Checo and for Red Bull Racing. And then what? Who then? Oscar Piastri, maybe? Christian Horner's talking now about George Russell. Who the fudge knows? Benson continues, it can be assumed that Liam Lawson will be kept on as a race driver for 2025, and he now has the opportunity to put himself in the frame for promotion to the senior team in the future. F1 is on a 4-week hiatus and will come back as of Kota, and that will be the debut Grand Prix of one Liam Lawson. Oh, and by the way, Jonathan Noble of Autosport writes as follows: Red Bull has finally confirmed the exit of one Daniel Ricciardo. Oh, the humanity. Just put a stake in my heart, why don't you? Do you know what I mean? Is sentimentality and nostalgia dead in the weird and wacky world that is the one that F's may be? While it has been widely accepted that Ricciardo competed in his final race for RB in Singapore last weekend, there's been no formal announcement from the squad or Red Bull up until now, because on Thursday afternoon, not less than 39 minutes ago, Red Bull's social media channels paid tribute to Ricciardo's contribution over the years, which included 7 out of 8 career wins. In a post titled "Thank you, Daniel" on RB's official feed, team boss Lauren Mekies said he's brought a lot of experience and talent to the team with a fantastic attitude, which has helped everyone to develop and foster a tight team spirit. Of course, I love that. I mean, how can you not hate that? And he is on the money. While Ricciardo was not definitive about his future after Singapore, it was clear from his body language, the way that he was answering the question, the hug with Kim Illman, the guard of honour that the hospitality guest gave to him. It was clear that he knew, as well as everybody else, that what everybody in the world, the F1 community, had long suspected, even that Danny Ric was on his way out. Speaking after the race, Wright Motorsport, and getting emotional at times, he said, "I tried to obviously enjoy it, the Singapore Grand Prix weekend, my last one in brackets, a little bit like the end of 2022 with McLaren. Obviously, I was aware that maybe this was my last race, so I tried to enjoy it, savour it." He took long in the cool down lap, didn't he? Slowly seeing out his stay of execution. I think I'm a much happier place in the sport than I was before. So if this is it, let's say I have a little bit more peace and I'm proud of my career. Ricciardo also posted on Instagram some words of appreciation to those who had a role in his career. "I've loved the sport my whole life. It's wild and wonderful and has been a journey. To the teams and individuals that have played their part, thank you. To the fans," says Danny Ric. Are you going to get me start welling up here? Come on, Daniel. "To the fans," says Danny Ric on Instagram, "who love the sport sometimes more than me, thank you. It will always have its highs and lows, but it's been fun, and truth be told, I wouldn't change it until the next adventure." Oh, the humanity. What are we doing here? Danny Ric got me in my feelings, welling up ever so slightly. Autosport continues, its consistency, not speed. That was the issue as far as his not insubstantial material underperformance season today, and ultimately that's what not just cost him a seat at Red Bull Racing, the parent team, but what cost him a seat at the junior team, RB Visa Cash App. Oh, the humanity.